My Life Between Lives story from Newton-trained Institute practitioners.
I see a whole change in the thrust of searching for answers about who we are and why we're here. And I think it's wonderful, and I just hope the movement continues to expand.
Let us expand the universal consciousness together with a My Life Between Lives story presented by the Michael Newton Institute.
Welcome to My LBL Story. My name is Ikamananda. Today we have special guest, Danny Stott. Danny specializes in healing trauma and addiction using the power of transformative hypnosis to empower and awaken his clients. With more than 25 years of experience in the healing profession, Danny's path has evolved from being a paramedic to practicing acupuncture and Reiki, ultimately leading him to his current role as a dedicated clinical and spiritual hypnotherapist. As a Michael Newton Institute certified Life Between Lives therapist, Danny skillfully guides individuals on profound spiritual journeys that transcend the physical realm, helping them uncover their true soul purpose. When you have this gift, it's a special gift, if I may say so. Some might agree, but I do think this is what you've got. You're breathing, you've got this consciousness, awareness here, and you got family. You know, you live in a beautiful life, and if you may not experiencing beauty yet, go search for it. If you ask for it, the universe will provide it for you.
Exactly, yeah. I've actually got on my phone, on my screensaver, it's a quote from the Bible, from Jesus. And Eckhart Tolle was just saying this the other day. Therefore, I tell you, whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. And
believe you have perceived it.
Yeah, just believe it's there. You know, and so when I made the transition from, I'm also a physiotherapist. When I made the transition to becoming a hypnotherapist, there was part of me that felt it's a bit late to do that, to become a hypnotherapist. I'm, late 40s, but I kind of knew, okay, Danny, what you believe, you make happen. So if you don't believe you can make it, you won't make it happen. So I had to get my thought process right and start seeing that future and believing that future. And then, boom, I'm here now.
It's so important to have that belief. You just feel it and see it, and then the picture begins to just manifest itself as reality.
Yeah.
I remembered we have one lady who trained to become a Michael Newton facilitator as a Life Between Lives therapist. She is 72. And two years ago, when I was in Bali, I did a yoga teacher training course. In a joint course, a guy who just started to do yoga. He was there doing yoga teacher training, and he's 67. And I also hear that there's a Japanese lady who does photography. He started to learn photographer at the age of 70, and she's now known worldwide.
Brilliant, yeah.
Age is just a number, and time does not limit us, because time is just a concept.
Exactly, yeah. Long as you can keep yourself healthy and fit, then, and the brain is a muscle, and as long as it needs to be given stimulation, and if you keep giving it stimulation, it'll keep working.
Absolutely. I wanted to go back to what you were saying, that if we died with anger, we came back with anger. Does that mean that we normally start with where we left?
It was, if you die in anguish, you're reborn in anguish.
that says if I die with other emotions, I would have born with other emotion in your experience?
Yeah, it was kind of what I've learned is that we often come here to we'll probably have a few lives where we are trying to learn a certain lesson. So that lesson might be compassion, it might be independence, it might be forgiveness, might be dealing with addictions. And you might take 2 lives, 5 lives, 20 lives to really learn that lesson. So if you're working on a lesson and you kind of, haven't learned it yet, then you're going to keep coming back until you learn that lesson. And then once you've learned that lesson, then great, you'll either stop coming here, or you might come here for different lessons.
I see. Something we're always here to learn, and this lesson evolves once we think, or once the spirit world think that you've graduated from that lesson, you've mastered that. Now, next assignment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's interesting knowing what is the ultimate end game. Once you've learned all the lessons, then I guess you then become a guide. Maybe we rejoin with God. Who knows how far up it goes? And I was even reading this. There's I can't remember the guy now, but kind of talking about how this reality we've got is broke. It's not from the original God, the original creator. It's one kind of God created this universe we got here, and then there's probably another universe and a God or creator running that one. So who's running our one? Yeah, they're close to God, but whether it is the ultimate God, we're never really going to know all these things exactly.
We don't know. We don't know a thing.
But when people have like near-death experiences and LBLs, then they can often experience connecting with, the universe, oneness with their higher self, with God. Some say, and they often say it's the most amazing love they've ever felt, and it's 1,000 times more wonderful than any love they felt in this life. But whether that amazing love they're feeling is because it's the original God or it's just one of God's gods, I don't know.
We don't know a thing. As I continue to learn from my sessions, from my meditation, from my community, I feel like, oh my God, I think I know something. But the more you explore, you expand, the more humble you become. I truly feel like, well, we don't know if that is absolutely true or not, because it keeps on evolving, and each individual brings different insight, a different angle of the story. It's just getting rosier and rosier.
Yeah. I know Socrates said, the one thing I know is that I don't know. And a friend of mine who was a deacon in the church, really nice guy, he used to say, no matter what the church thinks, he goes, I'm pretty sure when we get to the other side, we're all in for a few surprises. And I always thought, that's it. When we get to the other side, we're never going to have it exactly. Oh, that's exactly what I thought. Yeah. Well, when we get there, we're all going to be in for a few surprises.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, wouldn't that be, a curious question to many, if you are watching this now? I wonder that too. I mean, we have stories came from the other world. I wonder if you have stories that came from your sessions from the other world, since your curiosity, your investigation about the other side or afterlife, what happens?
But this is why I love Life Between Lives, because they're very similar to near-death experiences for many people, except for the nearly dying bit. Many of my clients over the last 6 months, when I think of the ones since Christmas and before, they're often they're connecting with something what they would call oneness. Something, that's the name they often give it, whether it's God, the universe. And I remember the session I did just last week where the lady went to this planet where everything was connected, the trees, the river, it was all alive. And she was then kind of merging into this planet. And then she was on a swing chair on a tree, but she was part of the swing chair. And then this place of oneness just started talking to her, just started letting her know that they love her, they're proud of her, and they were then guiding her with some advice. And I was like, where's this coming from? Where is? I was thinking maybe there's a guide there, or there's an angel there, or there's her higher self there. And she was like, oh no, it's just the place of oneness is just talking to me. And it really was quite wonderful. And she was so moved by it all. You know, I've had a few kind of psychedelic experiences with like ayahuasca and DMT and psilocybin. And some of my clients were just drinking water and have an LBL are experiencing something similar to what I've had under, you know, magic mushrooms. That feeling of love and oneness, and the journeys they sometimes go on to even now sort of other planets, which is quite fascinating.
It's the experience of oneness and that unconditional love.
Yeah. And I think that's what my clients after the sessions are kind of just like, they feel this love, whether it came from meeting their soulmate, whether it came from the place of oneness, whether it came from their spirit guide, or just connecting with their soul. They come away from the session just kind of knowing that they got this eternal soul, and there's this amazing love that they just forgot about, that's there kind of inside of them. And it does, it can take a few weeks to process it sometimes, or everyone's a bit different with processing it afterwards.
Oh, sometimes more than that. Sometimes it goes through months, years. I'd say it definitely is a transformational experience. It changes your life for good. I mean, you look at individuals, what are they working for? They are working for love. In a way, they are seeking for love, right? And I was there. I was not aware. I was not spiritual. You talk about spirituality, I'm like thinking, that's just nonsense. That's some sort of voodoo stuff that I don't go there. I don't believe in you. I believe in nothing. I believe in what I see, what I experience, my direct experience, if I may say. So I was not into this at all. Nothing happened. I wanted a successful career. It didn't happen. I wanted a lot of money. I lost everything. I wanted a family. I never married. I want to have a child. It never happened. So I'm not thinking, what's wrong with my life? I need to get to know the bottom of it. And I experienced the fear of death in my 30s. So that sort of that didn't lead to anything, but that now I look at it as the energy. Is energy already saying hi to me? Hello? Started to question this and follow this thread. It's a thread, and following that, you know, get rid of this fear of death. And then in 2020, so my awakening happened during COVID time. I mean, many people was, you know, waking up during that year. Now life is just perfect as it is. I've never imagined my life could be perfect as this. I could feel this level of peace, this level of love, that it's just here, it's constant. You don't need to go anywhere to seek.
Yeah, it's lovely.
So Yeah, if people are still out there searching for, physical gratifications, searching for that the bodily sensual experience, that money, fame, it's not permanent.
Mm.
It's not permanent. Wouldn't you want something that is more permanent, perpetual, that you can actually directly access, and you've got that?
Yeah, I think that's one of the great things from an LBL is you start losing your fears, your fears of death, your fears of life, because once you go, hang on, I've got an eternal soul here. It's one of the most wonderful gifts I've ever been given myself by having an LBL. Coming away from that session, finally kind of accepting and realizing, yeah, Danny, you've got a soul that's guiding you here. When you die, your soul's going to come out. Just do your best you can here, Danny, but just don't get upset. And it's really helped me kind of accept and understand like my family and my friends. So there's a few people in my family who are difficult, some people who are really easy, and I don't get upset about people's actions anymore, people's behaviors. I kind of know they've got their own karmas, they've got their own lessons that they're learning. We probably chose these roles together and said, right, you be the good guy, I'll be the bad guy this time. So I don't sweat on someone being not a nice person. I just go, okay, that's the lesson they're learning, and I don't understand it, and I don't have to get involved in it. I don't get upset about things like I used to, which is lovely. But I still enjoy life even more. But yeah, it's like with my football team. My football team, I love watching them win, but when they lose, I don't even get bothered about it at all. But my family, oh my God, they're devastated for a day or two. And yes, but that's what's great about an LBL is you lose your fears. You really do.
Losing fear, that's such a huge thing to many.
Mm.
Yeah, fear of
Yeah, yeah,
losing something, fear of losing family, losing children, fear of something would happen to their children, fear of my own death. And they think if I'm dying, then my family members will leave behind, no one will look after them, or all number of things, or imagination. Imagine
yeah,
the fear.
yeah. Yeah, but I know all my family are eternal souls. And we're a team. We work together. But I also know that they've got their own thing going on as well. It may mean we're working together for certain things, but other times it might mean they're going off for certain things. I really follow my heart. I read Joseph Campbell about, I don't know, 5 years ago, The Hero's Journey, and he's got a book called The Myths of Mankind or something. And when he's kind of studied mankind and different religions and spiritualities, there was a key or an Indian phrase which helped you to find where you should go in life. And part of that phrase was to follow your bliss. And that if you follow your bliss, it will take you where you're meant to be in life. And so at some point I went, okay, right, what's my bliss? And I just started, and I remember when I first asked myself that, I was like, oh, I'm not sure really. I don't know. What is my bliss? What am I passionate about? What do I love doing? What do I want to get up in the morning and do? And then I kind of realized, because I'd had an LBL session about a year before, I thought that was amazing. That was something I would love to do. But I kind of thought it, because to become an LBL therapist, it's not easy.